Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Pierce, alongside of my good pal Dylan. Well, happy 6-9 day. um, we haven't done a podcast in a while. A lot of shit's been going on in our personal life, to be honest. But also, we called this Oilers Panthers Cup final from the second round. Like the second round and third round were so boring, especially the third round. And thankfully we've been rewarded. The first two games of Oilers Panthers have been so good. Yeah, or do you want to start off with the cup final, or like what have your thoughts been on the game so far? Because like two overtime games, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this than what we've gotten so far.
Yeah, I mean it's about as good of a start to a Stanley Cup final as I can remember. I mean both these teams, we knew they had the potential to win the Stanley Cup. It was more about the additions they made on the way. You look at like the Oilers, they basically got Evander Kane as a trade deadline acquisition because he didn't play a regular season game. You look at players like Ekholm coming back from injury, huge addition. They have Jake Wallman and whatnot. But then you look at Florida, they added, Jones and Marchand, and it's basically it's made their lineup just unbelievably deep. And with that, it comes to a point to where it's a chess match. If I'm being honest, this whole series has just been a chess match. Whether it's Sam Bennett scoring goals and laying out the goalie, or whether it's
Don't you
there's
mean welcoming himself to the series?
Yep.
But
Yeah. Welcome themselves to the series. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's the reality of what's happened. Is it's a chess match. Both teams have had the edge. I mean, game two, I think, is the perfect example. Is back and forth the entire way. It's one of those situations where you kind of have to hold your breath if you're either side, especially if you take a penalty. But you look at guys like Forsling has an incredible game two. You look at game one, Draisaitl was unbelievable. Um, you know, Sam Bennett's been probably the best forward in the series at the moment. McDavid's just doing what he does best, which is just like it's not getting talked about enough. That goal that he set up for Draisaitl, he walked Barkov and Ekblad on the way to the net. Walked the two-time Selke winner right there and made it look like it was nothing. This is the kind of series they're dealing with, and I'm a little concerned with how the Oilers have iced their lines. I think that's going to be a problem going forward, but at the end of the day, if they want to put bets on best, that's in their power to do so. Corey Perry's also been incredible as well. Tying the game up
still
with
got it.
yes,
Yeah,
tying it up
17 seconds left.
Yep. There's just a lot that's going on in the series. Both games go to overtime. Take a delay a game penalty in overtime is probably not what Florida wanted, but
the one penalty you cannot take in overtime, you can literally murder a man. But if they're like, oh, you put the puck out over the glass, you're delaying time from people murdering each other potentially. No, you got to go to the box.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. It's kind of ridiculous if I'm being honest. That's the one penalty that you're gonna take, and you do it. And it seemed like it was off a mistake, but what are you gonna do? And then the next game, felt like Florida had 4 breakaways in overtime, and Marchand finally finished it off on the 5th one.
Yeah.
A lot of, it's an up and down series because you look at it. If the Oilers win that, it's backbreaking for either side, but it's more backbreaking for Florida if they go back home down 2-0. Granted, they did against Toronto and they were just fine, but there's a lot of different variables in this series, to say the least, especially with the fact that they blew the lead with 17 seconds left. The narrative would be a lot different if Florida didn't win, but hey, they won. They got home ice going into tonight, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, both teams are better than they were last year, and we already got 7 games last year. So again, this series just living up to all the hype, because a lot of the Stanley Cup finals, when we get there, the teams are just so drained, so beaten up, and they haven't faced each other that much over the year. Like I just feel a lot of the last few Stanley Cup finals have kind of let us down. You're like, oh, you think these two good teams going into the finals, this is going to be a great series, and then it never feels like it lives up to this hype. So far, it has 2 games, again, overtime, double overtime, and it's two teams at the height of their powers. Like again, from the second round on, like we pretty much predicted this is going to be the series, and like It's literally like Batman finding Bane in Gotham City in the Dark Knight Rises amidst all the chaos at the end of the movie. It's like the Edmonton Oilers, they got their body. What will break first, your pride or your body? And that happened last year in the Cup Finals, and now the Oilers, they knew all year that if they wanted to win the Stanley Cup, they're probably going to have to go through Florida, and they found Bane in the middle of Gotham City, the Florida Panthers, and now they're at it at this amazing clash. And yeah, both teams can say they can be up 2-0 right now. Like, I'm not gonna hide, like I want the Oilers to win, but I
No,
saw Oilers, yeah, like what? Sorry,
I said no.
you're like
I would have
no,
never guessed.
no, I don't live in the city or anything, but yeah, I saw both like the Oilers fans complain like, "Oh, we should be up 2-0. Go to be nice if you're up 2-0, yeah, but like also you could be down 2-0 as well. Like either side can make their case to be up 2-0, or they could be down 2-0 right now. So it's tied, and I want the Oilers to win, but I straight up don't know like how this series is gonna go, and that's to me that's the fun part of it. Yeah, like the games like the I think the one thing that gives me optimism that the Oilers can get it done is that the Panthers I think were 31-0 when leading after the first and second period, which is crazy. So like basically if you go down in a game against Florida, even if it's in the first period, like you're losing that game. Like you have to get out in front of them. And to give some praise to the Florida Panthers, 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals. They almost remind me of like a combination of they have the Blackhawks like 2010s mentality of like we're never out of this. Like we got fuck you mentality. We know what it takes to close out these games and be unflappable. And then they play like the early 2010s LA Kings. Like it's just they're so frustrating. Like they never go away. Even if you think that you got them, you don't. But I think to me, I think that's the truth is for both sides. And I've been saying it since this pod if we started doing this podcast. I want the series to go to a game 7 overtime. Like again, cheering for the Oilers, that might kill me, but I mean as just pure hockey fans right now, we're being treated and I love it.
Yeah, so what you want it to be. You want it to be your best teams at
Mm-hmm.
the end. And the first rematch of a cup final since 0809. It's been a long time. And needless to say, it's definitely living up to the hype so far. Granted, they're playing one game in 5 days. So I'm very curious to see what the energy is in this game because you can kind of empty the tank in a sense. Since game 3 and 4 are 2 days apart, but it'll be interesting for sure. And I think both goalies have looked beatable at times in this series. I don't think either has really stolen the series yet.
No.
Can
But
happen,
they've locked in when they needed to. Like, yeah, Stuart Skinner gave up 3 goals in the first, I think, 22 minutes of the game, and then he didn't allow a goal the rest of the way. And I thought Bobrovsky, like, again, didn't steal the game, but made the saves he had to save. Again, like, a lot of the stuff, like, the time, it's not like, it's not how many goals you let up or your save percentage. It's like when you can give your team a save because the games are just going to be so close. The teams are going to score goals. It's really a matter of when do you make that big save.
yeah. And also it's not game 4 yet for Stuart Skinner, so he gets one more game. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who kind of it's they're going blow for blow right now, which both teams have the depth to do. But at the same time, I trust Florida's depth a lot more than Edmonton's depth. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins isn't 100% anymore. That's a massive.
Clearly not. No.
It's a massive loss. They don't have Hyman. Like this is, they're going to need more out of their guys than what they've gotten, which is a lot to say because I feel like they've actually done pretty good with their depth. But you look at a team like Florida where their third line leads their team in scoring, and their top scorer comes from their top line, and their second line has their leading goal scorer. They're the deepest team right now, and they made it here for a reason. Their top 4 is about as deep as you can get. Honestly, their top 6 on defense, because even their third pair gets the job done. It's not a lot of holes. And, you have the ultimate Swiss Army knife in McDavid to counter that. But, we said it before, it's an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And as of right now, they're causing a collision in the middle of the ring right now. I'm curious to see which way the pendulum swings in a sense, because this whole series has been based off momentum. And you can look at very specific points in this series where the momentum shifted. You look at the goalie interference challenge in game one that shifted it back to Florida's favor. Edmonton, of course, came back and won that game. And then you look at game two, multiple points in that game as well, where the momentum shifts either direction. It's going to be interesting. Like you said, both teams are never out of it. The Edmonton's had a bunch of comebacks this postseason. Florida, they'll be down 2 goals and they'll act like it's nothing, or 2 games in the series and act like it's nothing. So it'll be interesting to see where the weaknesses show their faces. And I'm going to be honest, with the way Edmonton's icing their decor tonight, it might be that. So we'll see, though.
Again, just kind of like what I said earlier with how the Florida Panthers kind of feel like a mixture of the Blackhawks and the Kings from the 2010s. Like this series just almost in a way feels like that 2014 conference final where again it just feels like the two best teams in the league going at it. And obviously this is a Stanley Cup final. Whoever's gonna win is gonna win. And yeah, I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. But yeah, if I McDavid and Draisaitl, like they got to be on their game, and they were. And but yeah, Florida just they're so much deeper. So again, guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and McDavid could also have 45 points at the end of the series, like he did last year. Like we don't know. It's too early to tell, and this is going to be probably we talk about it every time. It's the odd number games. I feel like that are the most important. Game 1, Game 3, Game 5, obviously Game 7, but Game 3 is pivotal because I feel like just having that 2-1 cushion, especially if it's Florida at home, pressure's all on Edmonton. So Edmonton's got to steal one on the road, in my opinion, to make this a series. Which they did twice. Or no, they did once last year, but
yeah, only once.
It's possible.
Yeah, you gotta win 2 in Florida. I mean, they're already off to a better start than what they were last year. I mean, they were down 3-0 last year, so anything is better than that. Just being tied 1-1.
Yeah.
And like I've looked and again, this is a while ago. No one was on the 2016, but like 2006, they were down 2-0 and 3-1, and they still push it into Game 7. It just feels like it's in their DNA to push it far. It's like, well, what if you win like one of the first 3 games? You'll probably be fine.
Yeah. And then you just let them lock in for the rest of the series, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, like the winners control the narratives because the first game, like there was the whole Sam Bennett crashing into Stuart Skinner. I honestly I didn't think that was a penalty, but it's almost like boy cries wolf. Like Sam Bennett is just parking his ass in the net so often that like the times that he probably like put more physical, like tried to hurt a goalie, he did, and then now he's not trying to, and he's still kind of did anyways. Like if you're parked in front of the net that many times, like you're gonna get called one of the times. That's just straight up what it was. But then you're gonna get away with it sometimes. So, but didn't work out for the Oilers with the goaltending challenge, and then you went down 2-1, you went down 3-1, but you came back and won the game, and that's all that matters. And then kind of same thing with Florida. Like you like if they lost that game, they're gonna be like, oh, the Panthers can't hold the lead against the Oilers. Like they scored with 17 seconds left, but then you win that game. And it's like it doesn't matter. We've tied the series and we're going back to Florida. So
yeah, like I said, Edmonton's got to win one on the road because I think if Florida goes up 3-1, the series is over.
well, it's over. It's over. Yeah.
You can't let Florida win both at home.
No. Especially with how good they've been on the road too. Like they've had to play their whole playoffs on the road.
Yeah, they're one of the best road teams in the league. Bennett's got 12 goals on the road this year?
NHL record. Oh my god.
Yeah, he has more goals than the next person by like 5. It's they're in a bad spot, and that check keeps going up for Bennett.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to talk about because just looking at these teams with the UFAs that there are, especially on the Panthers, it's like, what kind of pay increases are they going to get? I mean, Sam Bennett's going to get $10 million plus on the market, and it's kind of interesting looking at him compared to, say, Mitch Marner, where he's almost kind of the antithesis of Mitch Marner, where Mitch Marner like he can get 100 points over a regular season, but then maybe not. He doesn't score goals in the playoffs. It's as simple as that. He doesn't go to the dirty areas. Whereas Sam Bennett, I think he's hit 50 points once, but I mean, when you do this in the playoffs, teams are going to look at it and want that kind of player. And not only like through free agency, our team's going to want players like Sam Bennett. Like teams are going to want Brad Marchand too, who almost feels like he's destined to be the next Corey Perry, where maybe he's just taking shorter deals and going to teams with a chance to win the Stanley Cup. If I'm the Blackhawks, like I take a look at Brad Marchand. I would love to see Brad Marchand play alongside of a Nazar or even Bedard, but yeah, in free agency, teams are gonna be looking for those kinds of players. Aaron Ekblad's also a free agency, and just even looking at the draft with, I think I saw Cam Robinson say Utah really likes Brady Martin at number 4. So teams I feel are seeing this and are going to prioritize those kind of big players that can play playoff hockey.
Yeah, we saw this trend 5 years ago when the Blues won, and
Yeah,
we're seeing it again. It's really frustrating me because the Hawks are going to fall into this again 5 years later, which is just so lovely. But we're just not going to talk about that. Yeah, I mean, these GMs, at the end of the day, I don't care how high skilled you are. I don't care how analytically inclined you are. You all still think like caveman. And it shows time and time again. And here's the best part that no one's going to talk about. The Panthers didn't home grow anyone besides Barkov on this team.
Nope.
And Lundell.
And
Their centers they did. But Bennett traded for, Kachuk traded for, Verhaeghe picked up on free agency, which is nuts. But granted, he was a fourth liner at the time. Jones trade, Forsling waiver claim. Only like 2 or 3 of these guys are homegrown guys. So I just be wary to the teams that want to take that swing. Like for every Brady Kachuk, there's a Kirby Doc. So have fun with that one. Better do your homework on these big players. But whatever. That's where the league's going to shift. That's why Bennett's going to get more money. It's fine for him. I really don't give a shit. Like, not going to my team. I don't really want him on my team. Guy's had 50 points once in his entire career. There's a difference between Jay Gensel having his breakout year in the playoffs and Sam Bennett having his breakout year in the playoffs. Because I'm looking at it right now, I'm almost positive Jay Gensel was like 23 when that happened. So Sam Bennett is 28, and he has. All right, Pierce, let's play a game. Since COVID, how many seasons does Sam Bennett have over 70 games?
I'm gonna say it. When you put it that way, I'm gonna say I'll say 1.
2.
Is it 0? 2. Okay.
Barely 171.
Yeah.
How many seasons does he have over 20 goals? Period.
I'm gonna say 1.
3.
3. Okay. I'm underselling him a little bit, but yeah, it's not the
point. He's been in the league since 2014.
Yeah.
Ugh. Whatever. Someone's going to overpay him. It's fine. It's not going to be my hockey team, so I don't really care. Just be wary, too. Buyers, be wary. As always.
I remember when I was on the trip with Connor to Tampa, we were talking about like, oh, the Rangers, I feel, are primed to do something. They seem like the team that would go after Sam Bennett. I think the Leafs would look at Sam Bennett. Apparently, Vegas would like a Sam Bennett as well. So, but there's definitely going to be teams, and there's going to be multiple teams that are willing to offer 10 million plus, I think.
Yeah. Whoever does, God bless you, but it's a different league we live in now. Cap's going up. This is where we're going to see the stupid deals. We were talking about what's going to be the Andrew Ladd deal, what's going to be the Okposo deal.
Oh, this is going to be 2016 all over again because, like, after Marner, there's kind of mid. Like, if Rantanen hit the open market and the other UFAs that extended before then, like, if Draisaitl hit the open market, he'd be the highest paid player of all time. But obviously, that just doesn't happen in the NHL. And, like, we might see more players hit the market, but I still think, like, we're never going to get to a point like basketball, baseball, or football. No.
Like, I hear people talking about, oh, well, we need our team to save money for the 2026 because look at the free agents available. Guys, I promise you McDavid and Eichel are not making it to free agency.
Nope,
and if they do, that means something colossally went wrong in Edmonton. Like, there's just Eichel's getting extended. McDavid's getting extended. Kyle Connor is going to get extended. Kaprizov's going to get extended. None of these guys are fucking making it to free agency.
No.
So let the dream die now. The last time a free agent of Mitch Marner's caliber made it to free agency, I'm pretty sure was Artemi Panarin. That was pre-COVID. Like, it's been a long fucking time since someone this caliber's made it to free agency, and it doesn't happen often. I don't know why people think this is like, oh, it's going to happen next year. It's going to happen next year. It doesn't happen every year.
No.
So for all the teams that are like, we want to spend this year, like, yeah, the free agency crop sucks. Maybe your front office should get creative and start trading, because the free agency crop is not going to be looking as good going forward. These teams are going to have money to extend now, which I think some of the Hawks guys have kind of touched on in their offseason reporting. People are not looking to make trades right now. The cap's going up. They're going to have room. Like, yeah, Jason Robertson's getting lured out there to an extent. I don't believe that shit till I see it. You're telling me you're going to trade Jason Robertson, but you'll keep paying Labushkin and Dumba $7 million. Like, there's got to be easier solutions to this. But it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So for anyone saying that it's going to happen next year with McDavid, I'm going to laugh in your face.
No, it's not.
Nope.
And that's why we got so frustrated with the Mitch Marner stuff. Because, like, it sounds like, because Scott Powers, when I think it was on his podcast, he said, oh, the Blackhawks aren't going to look at him at all. And we were just like, the fact you're not looking at them at all is, like, okay, fine, you don't get him. Like, who is going to score goals for your team? Like, we were talking about this over text. Like, Mitch Marner, not only is he going to score probably 30 goals, like, you're probably adding another 20 goals to Connor Bedard. You're probably adding another 10, 15 goals on the power play. So, like, you're potentially adding, I don't know, like 50, let's say conservative. Like, you're adding 50 plus goals to your team right then and there. Like, I get, they might, like, if all their players pan out, they might have to pay all their players like a lot of money. But that's the whole point of this rebuild, was to save the money to get a special talent like Mitch Marner. And if Frank Nazar pops off and is a regular point per game player, and if Connor Bedard is 100 points, 50 goal scorer, we might have to pay all our good players money. We might be good. Like, I hate that thinking of like, we got to save money. Okay, well, like, that's the whole point of the salary cap. I think you're supposed to spend to it, especially if you got good players. Like, when the Hawks were good, they were always right up against the cap because they always had good players. Like, I don't get the thinking of, let's not spend this money on Mitch Marner. And again, there is a limit. I think my limit for Marner is probably like $100 million over 7, which is a little over $14 million. If you need to get it to $50 million to get the deal done, like, do it. Like, if you don't do it, how else are you going to get goal scoring? Teams don't want to make trades right now. Yeah, you got the 3rd overall pick, but that's not going to help right now. And to me, the big thing is, like, this team has got to take a step. If we're where we are last year, like, it's unacceptable, and like, people need to lose their jobs, or at the very least, like, be on the hot seat, which I think they should be right now.
I'm getting so sick of talking about this. So sick of talking about this. This team just wanting to sit on their hands every time. And it tells me that Kyle Davidson's not telling anyone shit. It's what he always does. The national media is reporting the exact opposite of what we're hearing. I trust the local reporters more than I trust Chris Johnson on a Blackhawks situation. Just going to be honest. But he always does this. He holds his cards close to the chest. For God's sakes, none of us knew he was trading all 3 of these guys in 2022, and he did. No one knew he was trying to trade up to 4, which, whatever. That's such a fucking hearsay story at this point. Whatever.
You didn't do it. That's
exactly. Yeah. Oh, you tried to trade for Jane Gensel. It doesn't fucking matter. Make it happen. I don't want to hear this. Oh, we almost. Like, what? In what career does that get you by to succeed? Oh, we almost hit our numbers. Oh, I almost made it on time. Oh, I almost did this. No, you just either did it or you didn't. Plain and fucking simple. And Cam Robinson's reporting once again, hard to get a read on the Blackhawks, and it's because they're going to go off the fucking board at 3, and it's going to annoy the shit out of me. Like, If you go off the board and it's not Frondell, you guys are fucking stupid. And I just lose all faith in this front office. They're not even looking at Martone. They're not even looking at Higgins from the sound of it. They can't trade up. They're like praying to God Misa falls into their lap. Once again, living on a prayer every year. Oh, we
You are
might get
not Bon
Misa.
Jovi, bro.
Oh, we might get fucking McKenna. Fucking God Almighty! Why don't you pick a direction besides just sitting in the basement? I can't understate it enough. Like we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like there were two directions you could have went in 2023. You're choosing the Buffalo route right now, hard. And the worst part is you're getting gift wrap solutions over the last couple of years. You just can't fucking put it away. And it sounds like a lot of these draft conversations are not going well. So I have to ask the question after an offseason of it seems like your discussions and interview process is not sound. What the fuck are they telling these guys? David Carl backed out immediately. There's reports that NHL players are not interested in the Hawks after having conversations at the draft, or they gauge that they weren't interested in them. What the fuck are y'all telling these people? Whatever. I just I don't have the energy to give this shitty team anymore the time until the draft. Like just rip the Band-Aid off and sign a bunch of bums so I can sit here miserable for the offseason. Because just God knows you aren't doing the opposite. God knows you aren't doing the opposite. Oh, we might trade for someone. Once again, might. Gives a fuck. Do it. Oh my God. Like you say it every time. What the fuck are the picks for? Oh, just to draft a bunch of fucking 5'11" forwards and, two of them are going to stick most likely. Like, God. The process here has to start being questioned. They sit on their hands another offseason. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know like who they're gonna pick at 3. Not gonna pretend to know. Like he did say, like I think they should draft part of Martone. Like that's the whole point of the draft to me is trying to find players that you probably can't find elsewhere. Like James Higgins, yeah, he might be a good fit in Chicago and be a great player, but you got plenty of players like that. Caleb Denoye, yeah, he might be a great NHL player, might fit in the playoffs, but like if you're saying Bedard and Nazar are going to be centers, then he's probably going to be your third line center. Is that what you want at third overall? No, like I want them to go look at a Porter Martone because yeah, maybe he's not like a Matthew Tkachuk, Tom Wilson type power forward, but maybe he's like a Jason Robertson power forward, just a big guy, very skilled. Like yeah, he might not be the best skater, but that's what you used all those draft picks for is to acquire speed. You even got a player who's very skilled and very speed with Nazar. Like Bedard isn't exactly a burner. We've talked about this, but like you just got to bet on people's skill. And if you're just like boxing out, like saying, no, we're not going to take guys who maybe aren't the best skater, then like, what are we doing here? They got to be considering everything. Like at this point, I'd almost just be like, trade all their draft picks and try to move up to first overall and get Michael Misa. Like at this point, it's no longer the quantity, it's the quality. You got to start getting a good team and start getting some more high-end players there. And how are you going to do that? Like you're probably not doing it in free agency. You got to look at trades, and the draft could be a good way to do that. Like if I'm so serious with the like lack of discrepancy with the like from number 3 on to number 10. If Buffalo is like, here, take Paterka and pick 9, like I do that. They need help. You need to find any possible way to make this team better. And maybe it's not the best option, but yeah, I might drink my piss if I'm walking through the desert and there's no like oasis in sight. Like they got to do something. And it's the 100th season is coming up. Like fans like want to see a good product, and it's not even a matter of like whether we think they're going to do something or not. Like if they have another bad year, like fans are not going to want to see this team. Season ticket holders are not going to want to spend money on this team. And then when Danny Wirtz and all the up like people who work high up in the organization say that, they're going to look at Kyle Dave and say, you're simply not getting the results. Like fine, if you don't want to make your team better, if you don't want to throw your franchise player a bone and help them out, which will help make this team better, then like fine, you're gonna lose your job. Like that's the end of it. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, if you think the saving of the franchise is going to come from a guy who has a 3C ceiling and needs to get both of his wrists repaired this offseason, you really need to reconsider this front office because I'm sorry. You take Denoye at 3, I'm punting everything with this front office. I'm so serious. I cannot understate this enough. You're going to take a guy who has fucked up both of his wrists, which you need in this sport more than almost anything besides your back.
Oh, yeah.
And he does not have an offensive upside. He doesn't have a high ceiling. He's a high floor player. Like, you get lucky if you get an Anton Lundell equivalent. You get lucky. In reality, you're drafting a fucking JG Pajot that's 6'3". Give me a fucking break with this
Hey,
team.
come on, Antoine Vermette. Like, I used to listen to this podcast, especially like to anyone out there, especially if you're a draft nerd. Like, I've been kind of just brushing up on the draft class just to familiarize myself with the top 10, top 15. Who else? Like, who else go at number 3? And Chris Peters and Cab Robinson are probably two of the most like dialed in, most knowledgeable prospect people. Are like, I think they're doing an episode of, who are some good comparables for the top end players, and then they both said Antoine Vermette for Caleb Denoy, and it's like, okay, if he dropped to 9, fine, I would take him, and like they were back at 9, but again, at 3rd overall, you have a chance to take a unique player, a type of player with a skill set that you probably can't find elsewhere throughout the NHL. Like, I think you need to take a Porter Martone or even an Anton Frendel. Like, his skill set's pretty unique. Like, I'd be happy with James Haggins. Like, again, it's more of the same, but I know this team could work with a James Haggins. But Caleb Denoy, like, if you're like best case scenario second line center, that's
And
not
you
what you
just
should be
came
doing
out
at
and
third
said you're
overall.
comfortable with Bedard and Nazar being your
Hmm.
1-2. And if that's the case, you need to get some size on the wing. And the only two logical solutions in this draft to put size in, 3 if you include Misa, but they're not getting him.
No.
It's Martone or it's Frondel. There's no other way around it. Frondel's going to give you more goal scoring, which is what gets me excited about the player. He can play center or wing. He's got a great shot. He's playing in the Hockey Allsvenskan, doing a lot more than people expected at his age. He could either stay there or go play in the men's league, or he can come to the States next year. I think there's just a lot of flexibility with his development that benefits the Blackhawks. There's not the case with Denoye. Like, you better pray to God that kid goes to college, because the Q is not going to develop him at the rate he needs.
And that's another thing too. The Q just scares me.
Q sucks, bro. The Q sucks. Ugh. Sorry.
No, I get it. Like, there's like, it's really just like put up or shut up time. Like, we just need to see this happen right now, because we're kind of just going in circles. But again, like, we just looking at kind of to bring it back to the cup final, like, there's so many different
They're
ways
so far away.
to build teams, and it just also shows how far away the
They're so
Blackhawks
fucking far
are.
away.
Like, being generous, maybe in 2 years they fight for a wild card spot, but like, especially with the pace they're at right now, with no urgency to acquire talent in their mid-20s that can help this team win now, like, they're especially not going to go anywhere, and especially in this division. Like, what would we say with the Oilers for so many years? Like, you don't even need to build a superstar team around McDavid and Draisaitl. You just need to give them competent help, which is what the Oilers have done the last couple of years, and they made it to the back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals.
It took
And then
them
you just look
5
at,
years to start doing that, though. That's the thing people forget.
yeah. But that's why we were screaming for all those years. It's like, you don't necessarily have to acquire, like, yeah, it'd be nice if you could get another superstar player to play with McDavid or Draisaitl, but just put the pieces around them. And that's why I'm getting mad, is because, like, we're not like, would a Mitch Marner be nice? Yeah, if they could somehow acquire Jason Robertson, absolutely. But I just feel if this team, like, if you get an Ehlers in free agency, which I don't think is going to happen, if you can get a Peterka via trade and like another middle six guy, like, that would help this team a lot. But from the sounds of it, it doesn't even sound like they're going to do that. So that's why we're really disappointed. Well, we got to see. Who fucking knows? But as of right now, it's not promising.
I've done the speech at least a half a dozen times. Go look at the last, 15 cup winners. They always have a dynamic duo forward, one way or another. And another fun fact that I was looking up, Pierce, you went on the last time a team with 2 centers under 5 or under 6 foot won a Stanley Cup?
Detroit Red Wings.
Yep. That was a whole recession ago and a pandemic, 2 lockouts.
That was the last time 2 same teams faced each other in the Cup Finals back-to-back years.
Not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying you need to take a long look at how you're building this roster. I love the back end. I don't even think you have to touch the back end or
No,
goaltending at this
no.
point. It is all forwards right now, and you have put a ceiling on your forwards with the way you've drafted, unfortunately. It's early. Like, who knows? Sasha Boisvert could be great. Nick Lardis, everyone's got their own opinion on him. I think you and I both agree if he's over half point a game, that's a win. Oliver Moore is going to be an NHL player. Where he is in the
Yeah.
lineup is a better question. Frank Nazar is going to be a second line center.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the wing talent, and they do not have the wing talent, and they do not have the wing talent. I cannot stress that enough.
Dude, that's the easiest part.
Thank you. But it's right. You're right though. It's the easiest thing to acquire. And I know Ben Pope mentioned like, yeah, they might be able to move up with their 25, pick 25, which like that I can get behind. Like if you're going to take your guy at 3 and then move back up and go take someone that like, let's just say they take Frondell at 3 and then they go get like a Justin Carbonneau at like 16. Like that
Or
gives
like a
you an
Victor
identity
Eklund.
on your
Oh,
wing.
I would love
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
You get someone with a lot of skill to add into this prospect pool. And there's guys there in this draft. Like you said, from pick 3 onward, I think all 32 teams have different boards, which is going to benefit the Hawks because someone's going to follow.
Dude, it's the top 2 and everyone else. Like and now sounds like it's locked in. It's going to be Schaefer and me. So 1 and 2, which what I kind of we both thought from the start, but there was like, oh, maybe the Islanders do take a look at James Higgins, or
How about the
maybe
Islanders
San
just
Jose
fucking
likes
give
more
us
tone.
first overall? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Like, why not? I would trade all their first round picks. No, not all their first round. All the picks they have in this draft to move up to number 1. And apparently that's been a thing before. Like I think Brian Burke tried it when he was in Toronto, and it's like, sure. Like we talk about like how they have a lot of guys that are going to be NHL players. Again, it's a matter of how good they're going to be. Like they got the quantity, they got guys for days that are going to fill that bottom 6. Yeah, like Oliver Moore, like I think he could be a second line guy, but that's not a guaranteed thing. Like Ryan Green might be a bottom 6 guy, but you can only have so many of these bottom 6, middle 6 guys. Like you need high end talent. Can't stress that enough.
High end talent. Oh yes, the wonderful thing. But this is where we are. This is where the teams put us. This is how we're gonna have to move forward with this team. I'm hoping that they make the right decisions. All we can do is sit back and watch at this point.
Yep.
The fact that I'm literally okay with about 75% of who they could draft at 3, it's literally 2 names that throw me off. And the one is getting way too much fucking traction right now. I think I texted you. It's like the fucking echo chamber that was happening in 2021 when Seth Jones was about to get traded. Everyone and their mother was posting an article telling you how he was a number 1 defenseman before they traded for him. The Hawks know who they want. And if it's the guy that I think who they want, you better hope to fucking God he gets his wrist sealed. If you drafted a fucking 6'2" center that can't take faceoffs and can't shoot, what the fuck did you just draft? Think about it. Think about how pivotal your wrist is as a center in this league. Ryan O'Reilly doesn't do shit in the dot if he has fucked up wrists. Look at any goal scorer ever. Unless you're Austin Matthews, your goal scoring immediately goes away with a wrist injury. With him, he just becomes not a mutant anymore. He's just a really good goal scorer.
He's just, oh no, he's only a 30 goal scorer.
Literally, Bobby Ryan, it always comes to my mind how wrist injuries just crippled this guy's career. And he was a hell of a goal scorer. I think of like a Jonathan Taves, if Taves ever had a wrist injury, it would fuck up his 2-way game. You can't use your stick the way you want to. You can't win faceoffs. You can't use your body the way you want to.
Can't shoot, score
your
goals,
medical department,
name of the game.
Your medical department better have done a lot of research on this. That's all I'm going to say. If you're really going to go through with this, like Frondell, I've been sold on for 2 years. I don't think there's anyone. I think I'm the biggest Frondell truther he'll meet in terms of I think the upside is worth taking the risk on. Yeah, he's got to work on his transition. Guess what? He's going to be with one of the best transition guys in the fucking league in Bedard. All he's got to do is get the puck on his stick and shoot, in my opinion, in clear space. Or you put him on his own line with Nazar, and they're just demons together. I think he fits the gel very well. Bartone, you pray to God he's Corey Perry and take him, in my opinion. Higgins speaks for itself. You get another just high skilled forward.
You probably get another Frank Nazar.
Yeah,
Play
a
with
better
more
Frank
upside.
Nazar.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. Like,
yeah.
Michael Misa speaks for itself. You're basically just inserting a left-handed Braden Point into the roster. And then there's Denoye, where you're just praying to God he becomes Walmart Sean Couturier. See the fucking drop-off we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, I listen to these comps. Like, people like Frondell could be like Tage Thompson. Like, you hear because of his shot. Yeah, because of his shot. You listen to shit like James Higgins could be Frank Nazar, but better. Or Logan Cooley. Interesting. Porter Martone. Obviously, people say he might have the Kachuk ceiling. I see more Corey Perry in him just because he's so smart with the puck.
I'm thinking Jason Robertson because I just don't know if like he's like that mean power forward like a Kachuk or even like a Wilson is, but like just still like he could be.
You aren't born by that. You're molded by it. All right. We could put that. We could implement him being a dick. I think that's a very easy implementation. But you see the point. Like a lot of these guys have very good comps in terms of what their ceiling is. And you look at the Noye and it's like, yeah, he could be Sean Couturier, baby. Sorry.
Yeah,
like, I know Sean Couturier has got a Selkie in his career. I don't fucking need that. Plain and simple. Unless the only reason you take Denoye is because you don't think Bedard's a center. Genuinely. And Denoye is not going to be your 1C, so have fun with that one.
Either way, not great. Like, to me, that's why I just don't. I think they go Frondell. Like, I'm not going to pretend I know, or because, like, to me, Frondell just seems to have a little bit of everything that those guys have. Like, he has he's not a giant, but like he's 200 pounds. I think he's 6'1", 200 pounds. I think that's what he measured in as. Like, so he's not small. Like, he's a little bigger than Bedard and Nazar. Like, you have, to me, like the skill of like a Higgins and a Martone, and he could be like a center, like a Denoye. Like, I think he has a little bit of everything that those players have, so that does give me a little optimism that I think they would go Frondell. But again, we gotta see.
Yeah, and he'll be playing in the SHL. He'll be playing in the SHL next year if he doesn't come overseas. It's just
they could bring him over to Rockford too, and I think that's a big thing for them as well. They
love to control his development. Just look at Levshinov.
Yeah.
I just think Frondell's got such more flexibility for this roster. Like Martone, you're just getting a power forward, which is perfectly fine. Like I think you and I both agree that they need a power forward if Bedard is going to become his ceiling. For me, someone's got to get out there and clear space. Yeah, plain and simple.
For me, Martone is my number one option, but I just like from how they've been talking, it doesn't sound like they're gonna draft him. So I feel like Frondell is kind of like the medium. I love Frondell too. I would be so happy if they draft him, but he kind of seems like the middle ground between like a Martone and like a Denoye and a Higgins. And if they go like, I've kind of mentally prepared myself that they could go Denoye, but if they go even off more of the board, it's like, okay, what the fuck are we doing here? Like if they go Jake O'Brien at 3 or like they go Brady Martin at number 3. I don't think that's gonna happen, but
no,
you never quite know.
Just off the dome, I'm reading a couple comps they have for Frondell. Obviously, NHL scouts see the Sasha Barkov comp. I've read that multiple times in the Athletic. Peter Forsberg, Mika Zibanejad, Gabriel Landeskog.
Oh my God, Peter Forsberg!
Got a Peter Forsberg comp. That's no fucking. It's not something you want to tread around. And then Leo Carlson and more.
One of the best.
Which I think I have directly said I see Leo Carlson and Anton Frondell in terms of just being able to Carlson's obviously a little bigger. He's 6'4", but just in terms of using his size, being able to get to the middle of the ice, being able to get a clean shot off, having great vision, great positioning. He's great on the walls. Like this is a player that you need, in my opinion. Same with Martone. Like I know, I think I'm one Frondell, you're Martone one, but
we're both top 2, Martone or Frondell. If we get either one, we're both happy.
I'm not worried about the skating. I don't think anyone worried about the skating when Vegas won 2 years ago. Vegas was not a fast team when they won. I would argue Florida has – they're a fast team, but they're not built –
They're not burners, no.
They're a quick team. They're a very quick team. They're smart with the positioning. But, in terms of burners, we haven't had a burner since the Avs win the Cup, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the Oilers win, even then –
Oilers are
2 burners on the Oilers.
Yeah.
Exactly. You speed
and McDavid always.
I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they got enough burners on the team right now. You're telling me you put Oliver Moore with Porter Martone? That doesn't like, yeah, Moore can get in and fucking scare the defense, and Mortone's got time to set up, and boom, there's a scoring chance. I don't know. I just think I'm so against them drafting Denoye, and the more that comes out, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me right now. The ceiling's not there. At least the ceiling's there with the other two.
Yeah.
God. Who knows though? If they I promise you, if they take Denoye, he better go to college. He can't go back to the Q. He can't.
But I haven't heard any like again. A lot of the prospect guys are so locked into that kind of stuff, and we've seen like Gavin McKenna's probably going to go to play in college next year, especially with the new CHL to NCAA agreement. Like I think we're going to see a lot of players like at 17 playing the CHL or 18, and either the year they're being drafted or the year they are like after they are drafted, they're going to college. Like by the time they're 19, they're going to be in college.
I mean, Gavin McKenna is probably going to Michigan next year. It should tell you the way the league has shifted in terms of how prospects develop. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the track record speaks for itself. I mean, look at Celebrini in the league right now. Look at Fantilli. Look at Lane Hudson. Holy shit! Like these players.
The NCAA has been so good at developing players. Like right now, I would say they're better than the CHL. Like CHL's got a long way.
CHL's going to get your offense. That's always been the thing. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to score in the CHL, but compete-wise, it's either NCAA or overseas every time.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
That's why I give Frondell more fucking credit. He's playing. It's not a men's league. It's not the best men's league, but he's playing against grown-ass men.
It is a men's league. Yeah.
Like, fucking Christ. Marcus Kruger's on his fucking team. I should tell you what kind of men's league it is. Like, he's playing against fucking 35-year-old. Like, doesn't sound good, but you know what I mean. It doesn't matter. I'm just such a firm believer if you're playing against adults as a teenager and putting up good numbers, it should mean something. And it meant something when Pasternak did it, and it should mean something now. And Pasternak went 25th, so Frondell's got a bit more of the physical metrics than Pasternak did, but obviously David Pasternak has turned into a 106-point winger, perennial 50-60 goal scorer. You even get half of that with fucking Frondell. Like, I'm talking 30 and 40.
Oh, 30 and 30, yeah. And
it's a win.
Two-way forward.
It's a win. Yeah. If he scores 30 goals in the NHL every year, win. If Martone gets you 70 points every year in the NHL, win. It's not a win if Denoye is putting up 50 points and is on your third line. It's just not a win. You've failed that pick. Every other player has the potential to be a part of the core. I think Denoye will be an afterthought on this team when it's all said and done. Like, what was the point of drafting a guy like Boisvert then?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about it all the time. I think Boisvert has the potential to be this team's like Braden Shen on the third line and just be able to score a bunch of goals, be a menace on the puck, be a heavy motherfucker. But yeah, he's, he could play in your top six if needed, but he's better in a middle six role. You don't take middle six forwards third overall. Had this team not learned its mistakes 6 years ago? Fuck. And a lot of the guys from that regime are still there. Kyle Davidson was in the fucking draft room when that shit was going on. How are you going to get fooled by this twice in a 10-year span? I have no idea. But whatever.
Yeah, to me, the big thing is that he just is playing in the QMJHL, and just like I would say the past 10 years, I'm trying to think, like, Lafreniere went first overall, and it's not as if he's had an amazing career. Like, I just think that the QMJHL is just such like a step below even the OHL and the Dub. Like, yeah, if he went to college, I guess that helped, but just even then, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I've been in depth with this draft as I was like a couple of years ago. I just simply don't have the time to. But just everything I seen here, it's like if they were outside the top 5, absolutely sure. But again, when you're picking third overall, you got the pick of the layer. Like Schaefer, Misa are gone. If Misa, by the grace of God, is there at number 3, like again, that's another thing where something just falls right into your lap. But you got to
make 3, throw all your draft plans out the window and sprint to the fucking phone. Since you can't sprint to the podium this year.
No. Well, they might be able to again next year.
Cool. I don't know. I just want to see what this team does. They need to improve somehow, and you have a great opportunity to, and you might just stay stagnant. It's a little disappointing, but who
That's the
knows?
last thing you want to
I,
do.
I would like to hope that all these conversations we've had over the last couple of weeks are pointless.
Yep, I agree with that. That's the best outcome. And again, like the draft day is when Kyle Davidson likes to make his big moves or he tries to make his big moves. Like now this year, you got to swing and connect. Like that's what all the draft picks are for. Like I think not that I ever think you should be operating your front office of like, oh, we gotta please the fans, but you gotta get into a lot of fans' good graces right now. Like you don't have the benefit of the doubt right now. Like again, I'm going back to the Oilers and the Panthers. Like Panthers fired Andrew Burnett after he almost won them 60 games, but and then they went and hired Paul Maurice and they traded their franchise winger who had 115 points. Like that's such like a bad PR thing, but you're given the benefit of the doubt there to make those moves because you just had a team that almost won 60 games. Like you're there, you're thinking you're there, whereas the Blackhawks haven't won 30 games since COVID. Yeah, of course, fans are going to be skeptical of a coach like Jeff Blashill or any of your other plans. Like, you got to make some moves that excites this fan base. And like to me, again, the number one thing is getting a winger for Bedard. Getting Bedard going is really going is what's going to excite this fan base. Like, let's say they don't even make big moves. Like, I don't know, they maybe get like a top six winger and like they draft Rundell at third, but and then they sign Bedard and Nazar to extensions this offseason. Like, is that maybe the best ideal outcome? No, but like to me, you could get fans excited by being like, okay, we didn't make big moves this year, but like we got our core players locked in. I don't know. You need something, and like if you're gonna fuck up the draft, then I just again we're freaks. We're gonna be with this team no matter what, no matter how bad it gets. But again, the people that are paying thousands of dollars every year to see this team, what are they gonna think of that? That's what I'm thinking about it from.
Yeah, and you have so much money to play with. You're one of the teams that can actually use that money. Like everyone's talking about, Anaheim's going to make splashes. Anaheim still has an internal cap, guys. Like this is still a thing.
And to me, it's gonna be more of a discrepancy once the cap rises because not every team is gonna want to spend $100 million.
Nope. No, they do not. And the Hawks have the privilege of they actually can, and they won't,
Mm-hmm.
and they will continue not to. And it'll be very disappointing because there are teams that are looking to shake up their roster out there that has been notified. Like you are in the perfect position to capitalize on some of this stuff. Once again, I think I talked about it time and time again. I look at a team like Seattle. Seattle, you could take one or two of those forwards, and it immediately helps your wing core. Which of those you take, I don't know, but that's not my decision. Hell, Capo Caco's still out there without a contract and could potentially be an unrestricted free agent. Why don't you just go trade for him? Get him signed on. He's 24. Then you have a young piece with this offensive core that can help with the potential upside that Davidson always looks for. I look at a team like LA who probably wants to clear cap space.
Kevin Fiala. There's so many guys on the Kings that you and I will both like. There's 5 guys I can think of immediately, like Fiala, Kempe, Trevor Moore, Philip Deneau, like that. Like I would take that whole third line, but
there's teams out there that can trade forwards that can help this hockey team. Like it just pisses me off. Marco Rossi's in the division. I think that's a no-brainer, but whatever.
I still don't
Show, I
care.
think we talked about.
I'm offering Minnesota like every first like.
If the price is actually a late first round
Mhm.
pick, this deal should have been done already. Genuinely,
Yeah.
if all they want is a late
report,
first, give me that shit.
Because they saw there's a report of they either want like Tyson, they want from the Flyers, they wanted Tyson Forster and I think a late first round pick. And like I don't think the Blackhawks have a Tyson Forster type player, but you can make up for that value in other places. They can give them the late first. They could give them an extra first round pick for next year, but then you got to kind of piece it together with I don't know, but if it was like Oliver Moore and like I don't know Ethan Del Mastro and Wyatt Kaiser and those two first, I make that trade. Like you simply gotta make trades to make this team better. especially for young talent. Like talent like that just doesn't come available.
Yeah, you have to. And they'll be complacent, and we'll be having this conversation first week of July. Brilliant.
Like this should be their off season. I don't want to like keep rambling on, but to me they need to, because 3 years ago into that draft, it was leading up to the year for Connor Bedard. This year it's now Gavin McKenna. To me, they need to find a team that's going to tank for McKenna. What teams do we think are going to tank for McKenna? I think you said Seattle. I think that would be a good bet, but I'm just trying to think.
Pittsburgh, Boston.
Yeah, but it's just like what like young talent, like what kind of Alex DeBrincat player could you acquire from a Pittsburgh or Boston? Like I'm truly trying to think. Like, but honestly, David Pasternak, but it probably take a lot more than just like this year's draft picks. Like you're probably having to give up a Nazar or like a Lev Shunov, I would think.
Let's go look. It's not much, if we're being honest, but like those are the teams that are going to be in the hunt for that.
I think the Islanders maybe want to rebuild too. Like maybe Matt Barzal. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like any kind of name.
Yeah, there's not a lot to work with. Like, yeah, let's go get Dan Heinen. Yeah, like fucking Morgan Geeky not getting traded.
You know, for real. Like scored, I think 33 goals. That's gonna be cut in half.
Zaka, that dude on fucking Reddit will be ecstatic if they trade for Zaka.
I don't like Pavel Zaka, but I don't. That's definitely not like something you're giving up your first round pick for. I don't think.
Shit made me chuckle. Let's put it that way. Made me chuckle, but yeah, there just needs to be more. There just needs to be more. There'll be the opportunity to get more. Just open up your goddamn pocketbook.
Yeah, they should be throwing all the money they can at Marner, and there might just be a situation where Marner's like, okay, I don't want to go a losing team, but honestly, it's fair. Again, I'd rather my team, like, I'd rather they have made the effort as much as earlier we're talking about, oh, they got to get it done, but there's 30 other teams, or yeah, 30 other teams that can throw money at Mitch Marner as well. But to me, it's the trades where I think they should be able to pull something off.
Yeah, and they have the assets. Needs to happen.
Yeah, that's really all we need. We just need to see how all this plays out, for better or for worse. Enough talk about the Blackhawks. Funny we talked about more about the Blackhawks than we did with the Cup final. But do you want to talk about another team in the Central firing their head coach after losing in 5 games to the conference finals? The Dallas Stars have fired Pete DeBoer. He really thought he could get away with trashing his franchise goalie. Like it's almost like you might laugh, but it's either me or the franchise goalie. And Jim Knowles like, I'm picking the fucking franchise goalie. Like, get your ass out of here. Like that's what it kind of felt like.
Yeah, dug his own grave. And the best part is Dallas probably shouldn't even be in this situation. If I'm being honest, they should have been bounced like 2 rounds ago. They looked terrible outside of Mikko Rantanen.
They delayed the inevitable, it felt like, yeah.
For a team that was so deep offensively, they had no depth. The right side got caved, and thank God they acquired Cody Ceci at the deadline because that made it 10 times worse, actually.
It's like Edmonton, the Rock acquiring Cody Ceci.
Deliberately targeted him the whole series and did nothing to change that. Continued to match him up against them, and he would just get torched. He has no one to blame himself. He's getting to the John Tortorella, Peter Laviolette stage of having a shelf life.
Yes, I was just shelf life. That's a really good, yeah.
Last 3 places he's been have been for no more than 4 years, I believe. And yeah, he makes conference finals, but he doesn't get over the glass ceiling. And that has been his problem since New Jersey, if we're being honest. So,
yeah.
You know, everyone will say the Hawks should go get him. Yeah, he'd bring up the floor, but he's not winning the cup.
Gone. They got Blashill now, yeah.
He's not winning a cup, that's for sure.
It's all relative because obviously, I'm as Hawks fans, we've been at the bottom of the barrel. I'm looking. I would fucking love to make the conference finals 6 out of 8 years or whatever DeBoer's record is. But yeah, when you've assembled a team like the Stars and you're on the conference finals 3 years in a row, twice to Edmonton, and it's worse this year than it was last year. Yeah. I don't even think big changes need to be made. I think you just got to bring a different voice into the room. Like, I don't know how you continue after you just completely throw your franchise goalie out of the bus, and not only like be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. You like double and triple down. There were so many times for him, like as soon as he done that, might have just like sealed his fate. Like he might have just been fired right then and there when he pulled Odger. But to me, I thought there could have been like be like, okay, Andre, I need you to go out for the second period. Like, we need you. We're still in this game. We're only down by 2 goals. We trust in our team that we can score more than 2 goals and we can win this game and keep it going. But he's like, no, I'm going to keep Casey DeSmith in the net. And then, yeah, just completely doubling down and being like, oh, Andre's just been horrible against the Oilers, which I honestly don't entirely disagree with. Like, he hasn't been great, but either has the team in front of you. To me, it was just a whole team thing, and then you use your goalie as the sacrificial lamb.
The clown.
Yeah,
no other way to put it. Like, I had to get in an argument with a couple Stars fans about this a couple days ago because they were like, "Oh, so Ottinger doesn't deserve any blame." I'm like, actually, not really, because you should be able to score more than 2 fucking goals in a game. Like, the nerve to call out the goalie when you can't put up pot 3 is insane. It's just insane to me. Like, oh, even if you made those saves, y'all wouldn't have been able to fucking score anyway on one of the goalies that has your number, but is very below average in every other scenario.
Yeah.
Joke's on them. Like, fucking, and now they got to make a lot of decisions. Sounds like he pissed off the leadership core on the way out, so I'd have to question if Jamie Benn's coming back. Dallas has a lot of moves to make, and they don't have a lot of cap space to do it. Now at this rate, an extension kicking in. You got to sign Harley and Robertson in about a year. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. And as for the coach, I look forward to seeing Gerard Gallant behind the bench come week 1.
It's him or I feel Laviolette. Yep. Or maybe they go Jay Woodcroft, but at this rate, like, no one's hired him. He might just not get a job for a while now.
Yeah, he should take a year off. He'll be on TNT or some shit like the whatever his name is, fucking Rick Bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, just even looking at the Dallas Stars right now, like Robertson would be awesome, but I would even take like Mason Marchment 1 year left at 4.5. Even the UFAs, I would take a look at Jamie Benn. Like, I would want that on my team for maybe a couple of years. Same with Matt Duchene, Dodonov, Granlund. Could call him Blackwell's a UFA, lol. And I would even look at Maverick Bork as like an offer sheet, or maybe you trade a second from. I don't know, but yeah, decisions to be made. And yeah, Thomas Harley's up next. They're such a well-built team, and I just look at that defense. The right side of that defense, like their left side is set with Heiskanen, Harley, and Lundell, and then you have Matt Dumba, who I don't even think play in the playoffs, and you got Labushkin. Oh, I didn't even mention Liam Bixel. Like, you got 4 great younger left-handed defensemen, and your right-handed shite is just shite. Like, Connor Murphy would come in and be the best right-handed shot of the bunch.
It's funny too, because they immediately were like, "Yeah, we don't want Seth Jones," and then Seth Jones goes on to be a very impactful defenseman for Florida right now, and Cody Ceci got caved for all 5 games. Joke's on you. Looks good on you. Jim Nill is 70% of the time he's right all the time. That's what I'll say about that.
I don't know, like, there's been like coach hirings here and there.
Marco Stern to the Bruins. Yeah.
What were the other ones? What was the Pittsburgh one? Surprised me, but then I saw it was a Chicago Steel head coach. I'm like, that makes sense, because the only There's only one more thing that Kyle Dubas loves more, and that's his Sioux Greyhounds. The second thing he loves the most is Chicago Steel, apparently, and he is a former Chicago Steel head coach. So they have him, and then I'm pretty sure Seattle got Lane Lambert, which I don't know what to say about that. Like, it just
does not know.
seems like another mid coach.
Seattle has no fucking idea what they're doing.
No,
It frustrates the hell out of me.
which is why I totally look at them as a group of like, let's get some of their players. Hopefully, they're tanking for McKenna.
Oh man, that's funny.
And then like, there's been some extension. There was the Brock Nelson extension in Colorado, 3 times 7.5, and then there was the Yanni Gord extension in Tampa Bay. And to me, the best part of that was the Steve Dangle reaction to it. Like, I know the Blackhawks still haven't signed Ryan Donato, but I'm looking at both those contracts. It's like it's either just super heavy, like lots of money short term, or like not a lot of money but long term. And to me, if the Blackhawks do resign Donato, it's like, okay, we're gonna give you, I don't know, $18 million, whether you want to have it $3 million over 6 years or like $6 million over 3 years or whatever. That's how it's going to be. How you want to divvy it up, how do you want to divvy the money is up to you, I guess. Like, I feel we're going to see a lot of those contracts.
2016. He's saying it all over. It's going to happen. These people are going to get a shit ton of term. It's going to make no sense. And the back end of the contract's going to suck, and no one's going to care because they're going to say they're going to LTIR it. Toronto set the precedent. Once again. It will happen again.
Mm-hmm. I need to pull up like a free agency list. Who's going to get like really overpaid? Like, obviously Sam Bennett's the number one. I don't think you can overpay Mitch Marner. I don't think even Nick Ehlers, I don't know if you can overpay. Like, if you give Nick Ehlers like 9 mil times 7 years, like I would do that. Like, it's not amazing, but it's can do that. Hang on. Need to pull up a free agency list. Top NHL free agents 2025. I bet this is great. Oh, this is a So I pulled up daily faceoffs list. Number 1 is Mitch Marner. Number 2 is Sam Bennett. I would have. Who do you think number 3 is?
Nick Ehlers?
No, it's Brock Besser. So Nick Ehlers is actually at number 9. I'll read off the names: number 4, 5, 6, 7. Ekblad's number 4. Tavares is number 5. Matt Duchene's number 6. Brad Marchand's number 7. Can you guess who number 8 is? His name has been circling up recently. He might be making a comeback.
Taves?
Yeah. Number 8 on the list ahead of Nick Ehlers. Apparently might be the Winnipeg Jets second line center. Like,
holy shit.
I love Jonathan Taves. I think he could come back and be a great third line center, but a second line center, no. He hasn't played in 2 years.
I'll say it once, I'll say it again. If you get Taves on your hockey team to be anything more than a 4C, shame on you. Guy has played 2 years out of the last 5.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think of that. Like, he hasn't played the last 2 years, and he didn't play 2020 at one at all. So, yeah.
Yep.
Very good point.
You gotta figure this shit out. You know what I mean? Because I don't understand how you could see him as being a 2C in 2026.
Maybe 3C, but even then, like, yeah,
no,
that's
4C.
Yeah.
You look at it like Corey Perry. You brought Corey Perry in to be a bottom 6 forward, and if you need him to do certain things, he might be able to do them. Last time Taves took a year off, it took him 25 games to get a goal. He's taking 2 off.
God. I've tried to block all those teams out of my mind. Oh, it's been so shitty recently.
Sign at your own risk. That's all I'll say. And I love the guy, but should have just hung him up.
And then I'll see like Hawks fans be like, "Oh, they're going to bring Jonathan Taves back," And these are
Oh
the
my
same people that are
God, he
like,
doesn't want to
why
come back,
do
guys. The front
yeah,
office fucking
one
burned that bridge.
mhm,
Jesus,
like
they burned every fucking bridge for that matter. Like,
yeah,
shit ain't happening.
no. Regardless, and then there's also the angle of like he does what does he do to help this team besides nostalgia? Like Hawks fans are complaining, oh, like we don't this team isn't good, but we're gonna bring Jonathan Taves back for what? To be our fourth line center? Like, is that how we want to remember Jonathan Taves as being in a Blackhawks uniform? Like, whatever.
Yeah, idiots.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, just the list like Provorov, Gavrikov, Nilsson's already signed. I think Patrick Kane coming to the Hawks is more likely, if I'm being honest, and also like he'll produce more offense than Jonathan Taves. Um, yeah, Orlov, Granlund, Giroux, Jamie Benn, Brent Burns, Jonathan Drouin, Pelias Suter at number 20, and then Ryan Donato is at 21. Yeah,
Terrible.
not a very good list. Like I'm even getting to the bottom and like Brandon Saad 46, Connor Brown 47, and Jeff Skinner 50. Okay.
Yeah, gross. Connor
All
Brown.
right. So we'll wrap this podcast up soon. I do have a couple of questions though. Um, this is from Tate. Assuming Misa and Schaefer are off the board, who would you be okay with at 3 and who would piss you off at 3? I feel like we did go over this earlier, but to kind of like officially tier it, like tier A, I would have Martone and Frundell. I would prefer Martone, but obviously would be throw with Frundell. And then the second tier I would have Hagens, and then third tier it's probably Denoyer. And then anything after that, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? That's how I got right now. And then there's a tier above that. That's the holy fucking shit. Like Michael Misa fell into our laps, which is not going to happen. But
Yeah, if I'm ranking them, it goes Frondell, Martone, Hagens, Denoyer. If it's anyone other than those four, we're fucking got some problems. But apparently now, there's shit out there saying San Jose really likes Denoyer too. Like the NHL scouts really like this guy, and that's great and all, but my eyes tell me a different story. And I'm not trying to fucking be the guy that's like, well, my opinion's better. But at the same time, I feel like if everyone's eye test is collectively saying the same thing, maybe there's something there. Maybe. I'm also the same guy who thought Alex Turcotte was going to be a top 6 forward, so I'll shut up. But still.
Again, like if we're outside of the top 5, absolutely I would entertain Denoyer. But I just even if that were the case, like I don't think he would drop outside the top 5 because I think teams just view 6'2" center very good defensively, and like that is valuable at third overall. I don't think that's the kind of guy you should target. It's really just as simple as that. Um, do you at Chi-Town Drew 23? Do you think the Hawks trade the 25th pick to move up? I
Yes.
don't think they're. I think they'll move up. I don't think they're going to move up to first overall or even
No,
second
it's to
overall.
move into the teens.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at the draft board. Like, what teams would want to maybe trade back?
Like more picks.
Yeah. Again, like which team wants to?
Take a team
like
Montreal, you can get one of those 16 or 17. I look at a team
yeah.
like Vancouver. They always need to reacquire assets.
Yeah.
Florida, I could see not Florida, St. Louis in interdivision, LOL. But I think the highest they could possibly move up is probably like 13. But that's just me pushing it. Although they haven't taken Jack Murdoch, and I would be very much okay with that if they did that. But 25.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, like Montreal. Like if we're getting to the top half, I don't think Vancouver maybe will want to trade back to get assets. Columbus, I don't think so. Detroit, I don't think so. I wonder if Pittsburgh would maybe want to move that draft pick because again, Kyle Dubas loves making trades back in the draft. I feel 11 could be realistic. Fuck. Like I'm just thinking of teams that are like recently starting to rebuild. So I would even look at Boston. Like, do they want to maybe move back and pick up some extra picks? I don't know, but
I think Montreal just like a three-way trade.
yeah,
Give them a roster piece. Give the Hawks pick 15. Nashville gets a fuck ton of picks. I think there's
yeah.
something to be. I think there's something there. But
Ooh, could that be like a Marsh or so thing? Maybe like
yeah,
Marsh or so. Yeah, that would be cool.
some
I just,
three-way
I'm just,
action.
I'm just like trying to think how that I would like break that down, but like, yeah, could be something there. But I'm looking at the Montreal picks. Like I've kind of been starting looking at some guys. Like I would love Justin Carbonneau. Like I know I was making fun of the or saying the QMJHL isn't that great earlier, but I'm pretty sure he is going to Boston College. So another
Yeah, he's
guy I was
leaving.
kind of I'm looking at this list right now, and it has the Blackhawks taking Colin Potter. Like, basically, anytime they like get into the second round beyond, they're basically just taking speedy guys. And I'm pretty sure I saw him on a list of like top end skaters. So I think that's a name we might get familiar with. But yeah,
I
if
want
they could
this.
trade in. Sorry.
I want this. What's his? I don't know how to say his name, but I've been watching tape on him, and he's been. God, it'd be hilarious for them to pick. Hold on. Oh my god, I lost the tab. There he is. Vaclav Nastrazil, 6'6",
Yes, yes.
190,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to UMass next year.
Yeah, because he's massive. You massive. That's gonna be the
Yeah,
podcast name. Mm-hmm.
I would like him on the team a lot. I know he only had 42 and 61 in the USHL, but that's one of those guys where you take day two and you mold that size to become what you need it to be. And
Yeah.
I think that's someone that could very much mold into what Blashill and the core company are looking for, especially with a lot of these guys. Like, let's be honest, forward quarters doesn't have a lot of size. So if you're not taking size at 3, we got to look at other ways of getting that size. Pierce dying over there.
I thought I might hear my mic.
No.
I guess I did. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm just fucking dying. Oh,
Jack Nesbitt's another guy I think of. He's like
oh,
6'5", big pointy game in the. I think it's the OHL, the WHL, OHL. Yeah, they're gonna have options. I like where they're mocked right now. Taking Jack Murdaugh. He's going to BU next year. Plays a great two-way game. 6'1", skates well. I think the Hawks are going to have options later in the draft. So if they don't move up, I'm going to be pretty content because, like I said earlier, the draft starts at pick 3 and no one knows what happens after that. I promise you, someone who you thought was going top 10 is going late teens this year. It happens every year. It's going to happen this year. And someone who's going to be there at 25 that we don't expect.
I think
Like
the
Joe
biggest wild
Valeno.
card. I think the biggest wild card of this draft is what's going to happen with Roger McQueen. Like,
Top
where,
10.
like, because teams are going to see that size. Like, he could go top 5, but I've also heard a lot of teams be like, "Oh, like we don't like that medical record. Like we're not even going to pick him at all." So again, like the draft is a matter of like if depending on like where a team has you on the list. Like every team could have you second on the list, but if there's like another player that they like in front, like you could slide like 10 plus picks. Like getting, I always think of Cam Fowler, that 2010 draft, the story of it was Holland, it was Taylor Tyler 1 and 2, and it was like, oh, probably Cam Fowler would go 3, and then I think he ended up dropping like 11 or 12 because teams probably liked him. They probably had him number 2 on the board, but then there was a guy that they liked more, and when that just keeps happening, you just keep sliding. So, yeah, I yeah, if they could like move into the top 15 or top 10 and like maybe get a Victor Eklund, I've really liked Eklund. Like if they come out of this draft with an Eklund or Frundell, like I'd be very happy with that. But also, I feel they could stick at 25 and maybe get a guy like a Malcolm Spence, who I've been seeing a lot of. Maybe not like super duper high upside, but like just a big guy that could maybe play in your middle 6. I don't know, like. Yeah, that pick I'm not worried about. It's just a matter of what they do in number 3. And again, like as you said over and over again, we'll
Because
find out
listen,
pretty soon.
Davidson could take like Martone at 3, and if he wants to get one of his guys, go take like Cole Renshie at 25. Like you can get your speedy, skilled forward. Like it's always going to be there. Tie-in talent at pick 3 is not always going to be there. Like you could draft a 2C at 25. It's been done before. Or a 3C or whatever the fuck they're looking at with Denoye. But continue.
No, I totally agree with that. Like just looking at the other questions here. But yeah, I don't think they're not going to move into. I don't think they're going to get first. If they get shit, if they get first or second, like holy fucking shits. Like my hat's off to KD, but also that's all hypothetical. Like that needs to happen first. So,
if I had
another
wheels,
question
I'd be
from
a wagon.
exactly. I'll throw it. This is from Tate. I'll throw in another one. Who do you have winning the cup after game 2, and how many games do you predict? I think it's going like at the very least it's 6. I think this series is destined for 7. Like if we're looking at past and like just, I think the Oilers are gonna pull it out in 7 games. I want to believe that. I think they can, but Florida just might be the super villain and could win. But I'm gonna stick with Oilers in 7.
I think I got Panthers in 6 now.
Yeah.
They're just got that extra gear right now, and they're healthier. And I have more faith in Bob taking over a series than I do Skinner. That's where my concern comes in. But also, like I said, McDavid could go beast mode. I just think losing that game 2 is going to affect the Oilers in more ways than people realize. Because if
You
they
gotta
don't have
bounce
2-0,
back. Yeah.
got to. Like they have to win the night, or else like it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Granted, the Hawks have come back down 2-1 twice in the Cup final, but
yeah,
not everyone's the fucking Hawks. Clearly,
no.
So
even if they were up 2-0, I'd be like, yeah, this series still isn't over because Panthers could just so easily tie it. But yeah, they got to win at least a game on the road in Florida, and they could start by doing that tonight.
facts.
I mean, the Oilers have been good on the road, and like they bounced back after a loss. But then again, it's like same with Florida. Like again, it's just for 2 very good teams going at it. And if it keeps going back and forth, how it's gone so far, that'll go in the Oilers' favor. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know if you got anything else more to say, or we can wrap this podcast up.
That's all I got on my end, man.
Yeah, like obviously cheer for the Oilers. I'm like, I wish they won that last game, and I hope they like wrapped it up quickly. But no, as a hockey fan, this is awesome. We need to appreciate like a truly good Stanley Cup final because usually they're not as good as we think they're gonna be. And to me, it's just 2 teams at their best, just going blow for blow. Like no lead is safe. Florida was up 3-1 in game 1, they lost. Like the Oilers led a couple of times in game 2, and Florida went up and they almost blew that lead. So yeah. Guess we'll see how it plays out. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Give us a 5-star rating on your preferred podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Google, or whatever the hell you're listening to. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you don't miss on any new content. You don't miss on any of the video podcast or even some of the brief clips from the podcast that we put out. So yeah, for Pierce and Dylan, take it easy, y'all. Only 18 days till the draft and only 18 more days until Lord's new album. We shall talk another time. Peace out, y'all.